The safety of Jeremy Bamber's conviction has relied to a great extent on a crucial item of evidence, a silencer, or sound moderator, which was supposedly attached to the .22 Anschutz rifle when it was used to carry out the murders of his family on the 7th of August 1985. One reason for the significance of the sound moderator, which silences the blast of a rifle to animal rather than human ears, was the discovery of red paint flakes and the presence of large scratch marks on the red Aga cooker surround in the kitchen at White House Farm. During the 1986 trial, the prosecution argued that the red paint flakes were the result of the sound moderator scratching the underside of the mantel shelf during a violent struggle between Jeremy Bamber and his father, Neville Bamber. Although this argument appeared to convince a majority of the jury of Jeremy Bamber's guilt, two key questions have emerged over the reliability of this evidence. The first is the question of how many sound moderators were submitted as evidence and forensically examined. The jury was led to believe that only one sound moderator was handed to Essex Police by Jeremy Bamber's relatives on Monday the 12th of August 1985. However, police records confirm that a sound moderator may already have been undergoing fingerprint examinations 3 days earlier, on Friday the 9th of August, suggesting strongly that at least two sound moderators were in police possession. There is further anecdotal evidence that this was the case following press statements by Essex Police and other reporting at the time. In fact, documentary evidence indicates that at least 4 identical Parker Hale MM1 silencers were acquired as evidence by Essex Police between August 1985 and October 1986. Was one of these removed from the gun cupboard at White House Farm on Wednesday the 7th of August? This could explain the press reporting at the time. The Crown case against Jeremy Bamber was based on a sound moderator discovered inside a box of gun paraphernalia by Jeremy Bamber's cousins David Bowflower and Anne Eaton, days after the police had searched the murder scene. Another, belonging to David Bowflower, was handed to Essex Police in September, while an additional sound moderator, belonging to Robert Bowflower, Jeremy Bamber's uncle, was handed to Essex Police in October 1986. Take a look at Table 1. This table outlines briefly the outcome of 3 rounds of forensic examinations supposedly carried out on one sound moderator. The first round of tests were carried out on the 13th of August on a sound moderator labelled Item 22 with the case reference SC/688/85, which took place before Jeremy Bamber was a suspect. By the second round of tests, the item had been relabelled Item 23 and the case number had been changed, possibly because Jeremy Bamber was now a suspect. The third round of tests reverted back to Item 22, but retained the new case number. Note in particular the different findings in relation to where the red paint flakes were said to be located. The exhibit numbers also changed several times, starting off as SBJ/1, then becoming DB/1, and ending up as DRB/1. At the trial, no point was taken about this, as it was believed that only one sound moderator had been found. The inconsistencies within the administration of these test results could suggest the involvement of more than one item. Furthermore, the fact that the Elliott float tests from the 25th of September established red paint flakes in the knurled end, which were not previously discovered, and failed to notice red paint on the flat surface of the muzzle end, which had been discovered on both previous tests, suggests very strongly that different items were examined. Table 1 also notes the fact that when Brian Elliott was shown photographs of a sound moderator in 1991, believed to be the one the jury saw during the trial, he did not recognize the item in the photographs as the same item which he and Louise Float examined in 1985. The second question concerns the reliability of the red paint flakes and the scratch marks as proof of a violent struggle between Jeremy Bamber and his father. Had this struggle occurred in the manner described by the prosecution, the scratches would have been present on the underside of the mantel shelf on the day of the killings, the 7th of August 1985. However, this photograph of the underside of the mantel shelf was taken 5 weeks later, on the 12th of September. This crime scene photograph, taken on the 7th of August, shows the underside of the mantel shelf unscratched. This evidence alone makes it highly significant that red paint flakes were not discovered until the third round of forensic testing carried out on the 25th of September. In addition, these photographs contradict witness statements made by Essex police officers and members of Jeremy Bamber's family, who claim to have seen the scratch marks 1 month earlier, on Wednesday the 14th of August. It is quite clear that Essex Police held more than one sound moderator prior to Jeremy Bamber's conviction. The confusion of various different reference codes being adopted has resulted in a complex situation in which forensic scientists, knowingly or otherwise, put their signatures to items which they had not seen or examined. It is also clear that various items were merged, and, as a result, the jury believed that only one sound moderator was seized and examined. The case against Jeremy Bamber depended crucially on a sound moderator being attached to the rifle at the time of the shootings. The material relating to sound moderators presented on this page seriously questions the evidence presented to the jury at the time and undermines the safety of Jeremy Bamber's conviction.